which I'm not going to go through the full list of the patch notes, but essentially, the first update's here. It's coming to console soon. It's not out yet, to my knowledge. And it's a very lengthy list of changes. It doesn't cover everything. I think a notable omission is the fact that it hasn't changed the campaign mode. I don't know the specific name of it, but the campaign mode in at least Battlefront 2, I'm not sure about the first one. The cutscenes are awful. One, the video quality, which I think this is intentional anyway, because the main menu for that game still has that awful, like, 360p video quality. And the videos in this are like 144p. It is awful looking. You can barely make out what's going on. It's just pixels. There's even like a space tutorial video thing on the single player menu. And that is a rough viewing, but at least the audio works on that one. There is no sound in the campaign ones, from my experience. I haven't seen that one brought up much by others though, which it kind of bleeds into a point I have about how everyone's getting different issues with this, even if you're on the same platform. So it's a strange one, but one thing that's pretty much universal is the cutscenes that come at the end of each mission. They don't exist, which it's not a big deal because it doesn't affect gameplay, but it is very noticeable. You know, it is quite unacceptable. It shows a lack of play testing that something like that would still be in this. Like, that is unacceptable. Does it make the game unplayable? No, it doesn't. And I do think it'll be fixed because it is the most obvious issue with the game. Because you go to single player, it's blatant that cutscenes don't work, right? There's no really hiding that. There's no experience that where you wouldn't realise that unless you just thought, oh, it's like that. It's just at this poor quality for whatever reason. But yeah, alongside these patches, they also announced there's going to be a second update, which is, and I mean, and launch day made a statement regarding how to work on resolving server issues, and they asked people to submit bugs because they will be doing patches. They already confirmed patches, right? But people continue to fucking whine about the game. And whilst I certainly ain't a fan of the mindset of release it broken, fix it later, this is an instance where I feel a lot of these issues would have gone under the radar anyway. I still think there was a lack of playtesting because, again, the campaign mode, how do you miss the cutscenes, right? That's just, there's no justification for that. I'm not going to try that. Nor am I going to try and deny the issues that are in this game. There's video evidence of most of them, right? I don't think people are making up issues with this game. I just think they're not as universal as people seem to think, particularly PC players. I think the PC port might be a bit fucked. But I don't know, because my PC players having a fine time. I've heard Switch players had like control issues or whatever. I've had no real issues on the Switch version. So it is strange. And it's a cautious thing to buy, but I thought I'm glad I pre-ordered this because I know for a fact I would have been misled by all this bad press the game's gone, when actually I've been having a lot of fun with the game and minimal issues. It is what I expected. So yeah, I guess the point of the video here is, I guess I'll talk about my experience, but just in general, I think people need to be more open-minded about this game. I don't think you should not buy it. Hold off on it, yes. Ignore it forever, no. And I think the videos like this, lazy videos that are just echo chambers of all these issues that don't actually play the game for everyone, right? This is, I assume the majority, but I wouldn't know because I feel if you're having a good time in the game, you're having not many issues, you're not really going to vocalize about it. Meanwhile, the chronically online Star Wars fans who are on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, this is just what they're going to whine about. They're just going to bitch and moan the whole time. And it's even about like smaller stuff, like there's no like invert invert movement controls or whatever. That's one thing the update resolved, so they're listening to feedback, right? Not everything was resolved in patch 1, but there will be another patch. And it was only within 5 days and a small team. So I feel we just gotta be a bit patient. This isn't a doomed release. I guarantee, like, probably by April, quite frankly, it'll probably be fine for most players. I don't think we're in for a long wait at all when a lot of issues have already been addressed. At launch, server issues were addressed. But before the launch server issues addressed, there was a pre-launch patch, which was absurd in the file size. People have played that version, which was like a different menu bar and whatnot, which was a bit more generic, so I'm glad they changed that, actually. It had that, and then when you went to the actual games itself, like Battlefront 2 actually had upscaled video quality, which for some reason isn't in the full release. But notably, it had like the modded versions of Kit Fister and Sarge Ventress, which that's the whole thing about how these characters in the trailer came in like a modded version where they didn't have their actual Xbox animations and whatnot. And just the belief was they had stolen a mod. And, you know, they made a statement about it and essentially said that, yeah, we resolved that issue, we apologise for the mod or whatever. And they said that there would be no content in the game that's from uncredited sources. So, like modders, which it's not. But, of course, the fucking Star Wars fans have to find something to bitch about because they ran out of actual issues with the game to complain about. So they turned to trying to claim that they lied, and I've seen multiple videos using the same title. It is like AI generated videos. I swear they're all the same. It is stupid. Claiming they lied about this because if you get the version without the pre-release patch, you actually have the modded versions in, which is quite ludicrous. But they said at launch the game would not have any content from current sources, and it doesn't. You just haven't updated the game. The whole point of that update was to resolve that issue. They didn't lie about anything. They resolved the issue. Like, it is very dumb and some questionable morals that they took a mod, essentially. They just stole a mod, uncredited, and we're going to just pass that off as a new content. Which, that was another thing weird about the marketing is they advertised like new content when in actuality it was just the Xbox exclusive stuff, which can be a bit misleading, but ultimately doesn't really matter because once the game released and you had that patch also came with the upscaled tech because that was nothing, and that's why the storage size went up so much. They did not compress those files, which that's probably my biggest issue with the game. It's not even with the game itself, it's the fact that it is some of the worst file optimization I've ever seen. They did not compress any files. They did not optimize the storage space. It is 57 point something gigabytes on PlayStation, Xbox, and I believe PC. I could be wrong. But on Switch, it's still massive. It's still 33.3 gigabytes. That is the biggest game I have on my console. And I have both MK11 and MK12 with all the DLC. Like, that's ridiculous. Those are two AAA ports that shouldn't even be running on the Switch. Them having a rather large file size is justifiable. This game, no, it isn't. Clearly, they just did not compress the graphics stuff because actually it was 25 gigabytes before they did the pre-release, patch update, which did piss me off, finding out that I have to make more room for this port. I just shouldn't be that big because it's a 2004 and 2005 game. So that is genuinely my biggest issue. And probably one I get resolved. I hope the patch updates aren't for some reason massive in storage size. But I do think the biggest showing of incompetence is in that storage space. I think it's probably the worst case I've ever seen of it. It's certainly not the biggest game or anything, right? Like 57 gigabytes is probably tame for the standards on PC and Xbox and PlayStation these days. But it's like the fourth biggest game on the Switch, which it just shouldn't be because it's an old ass game. It's very old. I don't get it. I really don't get how that happened. So certainly if you're getting it, be mindful of the story size requirements. On a Switch, you're going to need an SD card because it is bigger than the console storage space, which is fucking dumb, but it is what it is. It's just, I've been liking this game a lot, and I have issues, but I kind of stress up how most of the issues don't really impact the gameplay. Once again, the game, and I've been playing mostly online. Keep in mind, there's a misunderstanding that anyone who's enjoying the game is only playing a single player, which by all accounts seems to be functioning mostly fine. But no, I've been playing online and I've been having a blast. And I don't know if it's to do with the player count, because I'm playing on the Switch. There's going to be a smaller account. I've been mainly playing Battlefront 1, which apparently the online is more stable than that in general, which I haven't noticed a difference between 1 and 2 from my personal experience. I've just been playing Battlefront 1 more because I prefer the simplicity of it. I think Battlefront 1's a better starting point, which, I mean, it makes sense, it's the first one, but to learn the game and whatnot, it's, you have access to all the classes, so there's nobody to worry about a point system or anything. It's better for that. So I'm playing that a lot, and on Switch there's 8 players here, which that's relatively active for it. I've noticed the players dropped quite a bit. The launch hour was about this size, there weren't too many players, and then on the day itself it was quite popular, and then the day after and it's kind of stopped. But I've been seeing a lot of recurring faces. I've been recognising a lot of names, and I hope this place stick around because it's quite chill. It's quite chill. These are small lobbies. They're certainly not full, but the AI fills the rest of it. And I think the AI is quite competent in this game. I mean, they feel very robotic, both in their movements and their aim. Because it does feel like they have aimbot half the time. And you shoot at them, then they'll automatically start rolling. They'll often stand still, or they'll start walking because sometimes get stuck on walls, especially on Hero Assault, which none of that stuff is a new issue. A lot of my complaints are just with the age of the game. There's stuff that maybe they could have changed, but ultimately, if it was in the original game, it's understandable why it would be in this version. I feel they could have done more. Like Hero Assault's on all maps now, well, most of them, and it seems the AI was not updated to suit that, because they get stuck on walls a lot. I really like doing the Hero Assault on the Yavin 4 arena, and that's fun. The problem is, in the spawn areas, a lot of the NPCs will get, well, not NPCs, the AI, they'll get stuck on the walls. But that's not a universal thing, but it is very noticeable, and it happens on a lot of maps, I believe. I reckon if they improved that, that'd be a great addition. Another thing that's also partially understandable, but also it feels like a glaring omission, is in any other mode like Conquest, the AI will not control the heroes. The heroes work fine in Battlefront 1. There's only 4 of them, and they're all AI controlled, so that's nothing too crazy there. But Battlefront 2, only the players can control them. You can have a timer or point system to earn a hero, and each map has a dedicated hero for it, which the choice for the heroes are fine because it follows the Xbox patch one. So, Sarge Ventress, Kit Fisto, they're on some maps. Anakin's on an extra map where he's actually with the the heroes, even though in Hero Assault he's with the villains, just because they have less characters, so they balance like that. There's actually a map which, funny enough, is also the Yavin 4 arena where you can play as Anakin with the good guys, which is a neat little thing. And then the dark side has Ventress. I assume it's a reference to the 2002 Clone Wars episode where Anakin and Ventress have to fight. That's probably the most iconic part of the show. That or Grievous, of course. So I think that's cool. I think that's quite clever. But yeah, just keep in mind that the AI cannot control them. So unless you're doing a actual online match, you're not going to be able to have those duels outside of just regular Hero Assault, which I believe Hero Assault you could probably set up 1v1s because you can control the amount of AI that are there. So you could probably do 1v1s there. But I do think they need to fix that. It's something that was in the original version anyway, but it was something Xbox Live patched now in one of the updates. And this port has been focused on implementing the content updates, but it seemed to have missed actual gameplay changes, such as the AI having the ability to control the heroes, which I think is quite significant. Currently not a problem right now, but if you're going to be a single player, it's going to be noticeable. Now you can't get that experience fighting AI heroes outside of a Hero Assault. The benefit is you automatically just get the hero anyway, Only the players will have access to heroes. It's not the option to play as it is not going to fall to an AI. I believe even the Xbox patch version it works that way anyway, where it prioritizes human players. But if you refuse, then it will go to an AI. Is how I believe it works. Which I think they should implement that. I think they should add that. That would help a lot. Its absence makes sense though, simultaneously. And you have these Aspire dedicated servers here, and they're quite strange. They implemented them on day one. They're quite strange. Battlefront 1 is less than Battlefront 2. It has these two servers, which is fine. That's plentiful, especially for Switch. But last night when I was playing, there's only one server, which is weird. I guess they put one down. I don't know if they're going to reopen it. I don't know how it works. We only really need one server, dedicated server. It's not like you run out of space because custom servers exist. It's just nice to have a set one. Also, there are no differences between the two Aspire ones. Heroes are just off on both of them, and the AI difficulty is the same. You can see the game info below. But yeah, this is it. I don't think this is a visual glitch. This was just the server count. Battlefront 2's Aspire dedicated servers are even weirder because there's much more, which I don't think they need that many. I think they should have had one for each mode, whereas they have multiple. The problem is they have one Space Assault server and 8 Hero Assault ones, and it's weird. There's none for regular Conquest or anything like that. That all has to be set up through custom matches. And I've also noticed there's more Space Assault maps now, so I don't know what's going on there. I think they gotta figure that out. Again, I think if you want to have one dedicated server for Battlefront 1, I think that's fine. Apparently PC has similarly low numbers, which again isn't that bad because the AI takes over. I've already praised the AI just now, and I think that's enjoyable enough. It also makes this system as a whole, it makes finding players easy because one, you see the whole server list, but also if no one's on, make your own lobby or join one of the dedicated ones. It's essentially like making an instant action match, except there is an open invitation for any other player to join in. So there's really nothing to lose there. But I do worry that the play count will just completely die. I'm fine with a small player count. This was the numbers I expected. Not so early on, but I suppose not many people would be pre-ordering a port. And it's certainly not completely dead yet, but I do worry for it. I hope the recurring players I've encountered will stick around. I don't know though. I don't know if there's going to be just no one online and I can't find a match. We'll have to see. But this is the main reason I wanted to talk about this game. Give it give a fair chat about it, because I don't like this whole review bombing this, because it's putting people off the online. I think the negative feedback is more harmful for the online than any of the actual online issues. Because by calling this game broken, you're creating a reputation. Like with 2017 Battlefront, which that stigma around it with the microtransactions and stuff is still with it to this day. You're just going to put a lot of people off getting this support, thus keeping the player count low. This does no favours. If you got a problem, submit a fucking bug report, which Aspire is said to do, because they're doing patches. You can be upset with the game. Again, like I said, there are issues with it. I haven't experienced most of them personally, but sure. But if you have those issues, taking it to fucking social media to whine about it, it's quite pathetic, because I don't think a lot of this stuff is as big as people make it out to be, because they will address it. I know that issuing refunds for it as well. Like, I really don't think it's a major deal. The single player experience, I think that's plentiful anyway, even if the online does die. And again, I like the AI. If they make it so that they can control heroes, that'll pretty much finalize it. There's no content locked outside of that interaction, and you have Galactic Conquest, which I played a bit of. That seems really cool. And then, of course, there's the campaign mode, which will take a few hours. Nothing crazy there, though. But yeah, I just like the game. I think the maps are great. There's a lot of variety there. Of course, there's the different classes, which there's distinct differences between each class in Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. So I think, I was also going into this expansion to just only play Battlefront 2, but I've actually been playing one more. Some fun ragdoll physics there. I don't know if that counts as a glitch. I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I mean, in that recording you just saw, it might aim a bit off, and it could be a skill issue, but there have been reports like odd sensitivity, which I felt was quite strange initially. I've gotten used to it, and a lot of it just feels like old game jankiness, but apparently it is broken, and I am inclined to believe that, because my Battlefront 1 sensitivity is like 1, and it feels a bit too fast still in some aspects. Meanwhile, my Battlefront 2 sensitivity is completely maxed out. It's at 10, and it feels like a medium speed, which is weird. Which, those are speeds I'm fine with, but I would believe those are unintentional. Also, and I don't even imagine this is a new issue, I imagine this was in the original, you can just spawn on this map. Yeah, you can just spawn in this inaccessible area, and you can't escape because of this wall. Maybe with the jetpack you could, I don't know, but I had to respawn, which there is a respawn button in the pause menu. So you're not soft locked. It was more funny than annoying, so I don't really mind that, but that was fun. Again, randoms like this will come up, whether it's new to this collection or if it's just always in the games. But overall, I think it's a rather polished and smooth experience for such an old game. I'm having fun online. Split screen works for me. I play my girlfriend on that, and she knows Battlefront much more than I. I like the vehicles. They're broken as fuck, but they're fun. This is footage when I played the game on launch hour, which apparently didn't work, which I was playing it just fine. I had no issues then. Still have no multiplayer issues. I've had the random static loud sound effect, which happens so rarely to not even matter, but that is a glitch I feel everyone has, some sort of bug. I think it's only online. But again, it's nothing too major. But again, that's just my experience. For someone else, it might be a completely different case. So I'm not going to necessarily recommend the game, but I would say follow it. If you're interested, follow it. Keep track of it. Check its progress, because I do think it won't take long to stabilize it. And again, I think it's a lot more stable already than people want to claim. But yeah, experiences can be different. It is what it is. I certainly hope it's improved. I hope its rotation gets better. I hope more people get it because I really like this game. I really like this game, and outside of a few issues, I think it's great. Of course, the core game is undeniably fantastic. It's pretty timeless. It's not very dated at all. I really like it. You know, I've already sank so many hours into it, and I have no nostalgia to this game. I have no prior attachment to Battlefront. In fact, I would say I hated Battlefront until this game because I only played the shitty 2015 one, which is, I've already said, awful. But yeah, I mean, Kid Fists are super fun. So glad the Xbox content's here. I'm a Fisto main. He's cool. But, you know, Aspire has been pretty transparent about this. Again, at launch, they said this. I just think everyone needs to calm down. I think there's a right to be angry. I certainly won't deny the issues that are around. I will deny the claims that it's unplayable, that, you know, this is a universally bad experience, because that's just not the truth. That is a bad faith argument for someone who's had a bad experience with, I assume, multiplayer. That's the online issues and instability seem to be the main problem, which again, on Switch, I haven't encountered any. I don't know if that's a small player count. Again, PC has a small player count as well anyway, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. But yeah, another thing with the online is, I mean, there's no cross-platform, which I think would have helped this game out a ton, but also it's understandable that it's not here. I think that would help drastically. It's something they could potentially add, but I don't imagine they have any plans on that. But overall, it's a very good game. It's very convenient, you know. I imagine there's not too much incentive if you already have both games. Because I don't think the online's that crazy. I suppose PlayStation, I don't know what's going on now. I don't know the player count, but I know that's cross-gen. Xbox probably also quite popular. However, with Xbox, you have the backwards compatible version anyway that has the exclusive content, and you know, it doesn't have like the upscale graphics or anything, but it's arguably the best version because you do have that little bonus of the AI can control heroes. So if you have that, it's a Battlefront 2 on Xbox. I guess there's not really an incentive there, which I think is valid, but again, it's a shame because like I feel online is a great part of this game. It's not everything. You know, there's plenty of single player content, unlike for the modern Battlefronts. And I just think this review bombing, it just does it no favours. I think it's just going to hurt the online in the long run. And that's unfortunate. Because I imagine that's a lot of people, the reason why a lot of people are getting this port, and because it started off rough, which, quite frankly, you can't really play test the servers until people are actually playing it. Which is why meant when I said a lot of these issues would have happened anyway. You can't exactly play test a lot of these stuff, and a lot of it's very specific. Certain stuff is questionable, for sure, but overall, I think it's a fine game. And if you are having issues with it, just give it time. Hell, try out a new patch. The patch might have done some stuff. I think the second update's going to do more though. But overall, I really like this game, and I think people need to fucking chill out. I really don't have much to add. You know, I just think wait a bit. You know, I wouldn't let the very angry Star Wars fans that blow things out of proportion quite significantly, I wouldn't let them influence your decision on this game. I'd just wait. You know, I'm not telling you to buy it or not. I'm saying wait, because again, it's so unstable that while I've had a positive experience, a lot of people have clearly had a negative experience. So I'm not confident enough to say if I recommend it or I don't. But I just think people need to check the game's progress, see more patches, you know, and then make the decision. I think this whole don't buy this game ever is a very dumb mentality, and it's ruining the online more than the actual online. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.